day. I've just come back from travelling, and while I was away I came across some new settlers, and I stayed on for a while, for about a week or so, to give them a hand out. They were having some problems. They were breaking axe handles a lot, and coming straight from the city, they had very little knowledge of using an axe or fitting a new helve. So for any other new settlers out there, I'd like to make a few points. Now, this is a fairly large log to be splitting. I wouldn't normally be cutting trees this big unless I had to clear an area. These settlers, of course, were clearing an area, and so they had some fairly big trees to come down. Their main problem appeared to be that when they were splitting the logs, instead of aiming for the edge right here, they were just aiming to hit the log anywhere. Now, the problem with that is if you hit it too far in and the log splits this way and leaves a piece at the back, your axe handle is going to hit it, and that's what was happening, and they broke a lot of axe handles that way. So if you're going to split a log, aim at the edge and don't just stand back and look at it and judge the length. Take a look at it, put the axe on it, get an idea about where your axe is going to go, okay? Get a feel for it, okay? And when you pick it up, you strike it, okay? I'll show you that one more time. Get a feel for the axe right on the edge, not here. If you miss, you're going to break the handle. If you hit short and it doesn't break straight, it's going to break the handle, okay? Aim for this edge. The worst that can happen if you go for the edge is that you miss it and you go down. So make sure your feet are standing well back, okay? Aim for the edge, as easy as that, okay? The other thing they were doing was splitting logs this size. Now, this is a good size for the fires they were using. They had no chimneys. Their dwellings just had open fires on the floor, and the smoke was going up through the eaves. And this is a good size to put on those sorts of fires. However, they were still splitting these to make kindling. Now, the first thing I will say is that there's no need to split these for kindling. There's plenty out in the forest. I mean, even looking here what's laying around, you know, this is pretty easy wood to get. You shouldn't even need to break that any further, but if you do, just break it on the edge of a log like that. Okay, there's stacks of it around. Here's another piece. You know, there's just plenty around out in the forest. There's no need to split a good log, which is a good size, like this. Now, if you were going to split a log like this, the same thing applies. Okay, get a handle on where it is, because this is much harder than the big one, because you're more likely to go over the top and smack your handle on the top of the log. Okay, so take a good look at it right there. Okay, bring it up and split it. Okay, but like I say, personally, myself, I wouldn't bother. Just go find some wood the right size in the woods. Okay, one more thing to show you in cutting wood. Now if you're cutting poles, what you need to do is to bring your cuts in at a slight angle. Okay, see how that does it? How that chops the wood out. Now I found what a lot of them were doing were what I call hammering. They were simply bringing it down in one spot, hammering, okay? Now that takes for ages to cut through because it's not chipping out large enough pieces of wood. Some of them had the right idea of cutting it this way, but at the very end, when they're almost through, again, instead of turning it over, okay, let's just see if we can turn it over. Instead of turning it over to the other side and doing the same thing, okay, what they were doing, again, was they were just bringing the axe straight down to finish it off. And what that does is it splits the bottom of the pole. Okay, instead of cutting through it, it pushes it away from the rest of the pole. Very often part of the problem is that you're hammering it into the ground, and that part will go into the ground and the rest of the log won't, and it will just split it along the bottom, so then you don't have the length that you wanted. Now you always, when you cut it through, allow a bit more. If you're making a pole that isn't just for firewood, it's got a specific use in building, then you need to cut it a little bit longer when you're using the axe. Then when you get it back to your home, you can cut it the right length with a saw. Okay, if it's just for firewood, well then that doesn't matter so much. If you're just cutting it for length so you can carry it back a lot easier, fine, but I still think it's good to practice not hammering, not straight down, okay, but bring it in at an angle. Okay, just get used to it. Okay. Another problem they were having was fitting helves. On this type of axe here, it has an oval eye, and the helve or the handle fits in from the top of the eye. And as you can see, there's a little piece left sticking out. This does not need a wedge. It simply slides down in from the top. It's tapered to fit into this eye, and it does not need a wedge, okay, to secure the head. What they were doing was fitting these handles from the bottom. So this part of the handle was larger, and it was fitting into the eye from the bottom, and then they were putting a wedge in. There's no need to do that with this type of axe, okay. These come in the smaller type, which is the tomahawk. This is a slightly larger axe, and there are felling axes with the same type of fitting. This axe is of that type that needs a wedge. Okay, the handle fits in from the bottom of the eye, and it requires a wedge to secure the head. The other type is this one. This was my father's. I coveted this when I was a kid, and as you see, it has ears on either side. which go over the handle and is used to secure the head with 2 pins going through. This would be a difficult one to replace out in the wilderness, because you would have to either burn or drill these holes and then fit pins into it, so it's not as easy as the others. But that's just another type. Okay, I think that's all I have to show you for today. I hope you found that reasonably interesting, and good luck in your settlement, and perhaps I'll see you down the trail.